May 8th, Dragonflight hotfixes are in, boys and girls. Yes, if you've been doing some dungeons lately or anything else, you may have been shorted on flight stones, and Blizzard's tried to fix that. Recently, they fixed an issue that prevented heroic, mythic, and mythic plus dungeons when it came to the dungeons dropping flight stones and awakened crests correctly. They've also fixed a bug that impacts players' ability to properly earn the Awakened Drake and the Awakened Worm and Awakened Aspects, which allows the Aspect crest to be traded up in Valdrakken. So there's been some crest issues, some flightstone issues, among other issues. Yesterday we were playing the game and I saw there were some texture issues on some players' weapons. You know, Blizzard patches this game quite often, and when they do, it breaks it quite often. That's just part of playing this game. We understand that at this point. The quest, the Blooming Dream Seed, now requires 3 plant seeds instead of 5. The text originally stated it was 5. I don't know what this quest is, but I guess that was also a bug that needed to be fixed, and it looks like Blizzard has gone in and hotfixed it, so that's just great. Your crests and flight stones, by the way, will be refunded to you or given to you in the mail if you happen to have been shorted. Moving on to one of the more interesting characters coming in the War Within, Farron Lothar. And if you guys don't remember, when we first saw this model, we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, this is weird. It looks like her arm is clipping through the shield, right? Like there's some kind of issue going on here, and Blizzard's going to eventually fix that. Well, it turns out that was intentional. Yeah, not only has Farron lost an eye, but she's lost an arm, and it turns out that the shield is actually her prosthetic. So I didn't realize this until looking at this article, but yeah, she's missing an arm. She is missing an arm, so the shield is actually a prosthetic that she wears along with her armor. And by the way, if you haven't seen, she literally carries like a lance or something in her other arm. Her weapon and armor is unbelievable, and I hope we get some transmog that eventually looks like this, because it's fantastic, to be completely honest with you guys. Oh, she's just another badass of Azeroth? Pog. Yeah, basically. So during the Hollowfall main quest line, Farron introduces us to an armorsmith who designed her shield, Rain Dornclaver. And evidently, Rain offers Farron a new prosthetic arm, but Farron declines, preferring her shield. However, she does ask Rain to improve the shock absorption on the shield, and Rain accepts. So there's this armor. Yeah, this is how we find out basically that she only has an arm. And it talks about how she ended up in Hollowfall as well, basically jumping aboard as a stowaway to escape from her family. Very interesting backstory for her, and it looks like during this trip, she talks about how she lost an eye and an arm. So Farron's going to be an interesting character going forward. She's definitely going to play a big role in the lore, and we're interested to learn more about her. She does confirm that she is a distant relative of the Lothars that we know, of course, Anduin, going back to those days. And we also know that, you know, Anduin himself is a distant is named after that Lothar. So there's going to be some connections here. I'm interested to see how she interacts with Anduin. Maybe she teaches him how to find the light once again. She has been confirmed to not be like this crazy important character. She's not a leader in Hollowfall. She is just another, as they call him, lamp holder or lamplighter. Basically another guard in Hollowfall. But it will be interesting to hear her backstory and see maybe how she interacts with Anduin going forward. Another very interesting character recently showed up, and this one is quite suspicious. Archmage Drennan rejoins the Council of Six in patch 10.2.7. Now, you may have missed this. I certainly did during the Harbinger questline, but evidently he is now back in Dalaran. So he's supposed to replace Kalecgos on the council, right? Because Kalecgos is now going to become, you know, he's doing the dragon thing. Yes, Kalecgos. And he's back on his dragon times. So he is no longer a member of the council. But where did this guy come from? Well, a long time ago, he seemingly disappeared. He was a former member of the Council of Six during the Third War. Archmage Drennan was a recurring character in several of the World of Warcraft novels, investigating the enigmatic Lore Prestor on the Day of the Dragon, and confronting the burgeoning necromancer Kel'Thuzad in Road to Damnation. As described in Tides of War, his tenure as a council member came to a sudden end with an undead siege of Dalaran and the subsequent destruction of it at the hands of Archimonde, leaving Drennan missing and presumed dead. And then all of a sudden, he just shows up out of nowhere. Very interesting and suspicious indeed. Yeah, not sure where he came from. He was presumed dead. All of a sudden, he comes back. And we already know. Yeah, That's the kind of noises your brain should be making right now. Because all of a sudden, this guy comes back and we already know, Dalaran is going to fall. So this council member who was supposedly long dead, disappeared for years, returns conveniently when there is a council spot open, and then Dalaran suddenly falls. I think we got to keep an eye on this Archmage Dredden. He doesn't seem to be the same person that he was when he left. Why he left, how he left, he could just be the same guy, or there could be something more, conspicuous going on here. He looks guilty, indeed. Something about the way he's sitting on that chair. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but as I said before, let's keep our eyes open for him. He's going to be an interesting lore character, most likely going forward with this sudden reintroduction.